Welcome back to PAMAX Tactical. We're here at Full Spectrum Wars facility with a special guest today, Kaitlyn Bennet. That's right, she's back, the gun girl.
That's right, I'm back to shoot some guns as the gun girl with PAMAX Tactical, so let's get to it. So, it has been roughly 5 years since I have done any serious shooting, and I was a little nervous to shoot with PAMAX Tactical at FSW training facility. However, with some excellent instruction from Rich Graham along with the nicely tuned PMT-15 rifle, Gun Girl was back. PAMAX Tactical's guns shot really well, and we jumped right into giving some feedback on different pieces of equipment that they manufacture.
Alright guys, today we'll be testing out the MBS, the magnetic buffer system powered by Frytech. It is designed for the AR-15 and AR-9 platform. It runs 9mm, 5.56, and 2.23. It's a plug-and-play system designed to replace your already existing items. It will replace your buffer tube, your buffer spring, and your buffer. We'll be testing it out today with Rich Graham and Gun Girl. For our side-by-side comparison, we're going to have someone that shoots every day, a professional, Rich Graham, prior Navy SEAL, or someone that hasn't shot in a hot minute, about 5 years, Gun Girl.
All right, cool. So this is the standard?
Yep, standard PMT-15 regular buffer.
All right, cool.
Clean. Navy SEAL Rich Graham is going to now shoot the magnetic buffer system.
Okay. Yeah, you can noticeably tell the difference.
5 rounds, standard buffer. Testing magnetic buffer system.
That was awesome. Way easier to shoot. You definitely tell the difference. Highly recommend.
Yeah, the steel's turning, but the optic never left the plate. Like it stayed inside the plate the whole time. That's really smooth. It really is. All right, so what we're gonna do here is we're gonna shoot the PMT-10 with 308, 165 grain. So a little bit bigger than the one you just did with the 5.56 ARs. And because we're so close, we're basically just gonna aim to the berm right next to the steel. We're not gonna hit the steel because this is gonna put holes in the steel at this distance. So what we're looking for is just the recoil management. Let's just see how the recoil feels. It's gonna be a little bit spicier than the 5.56, right? But you got this. Okay, so when you're ready. Yep.
All right, spicy indeed.
The GoPro is there.
Closer to the water. I'm going directly behind. Or am I going to the one right by the
no.
water?
Nope.
Wait, no,
So the
not
one
Up there, right there, yep.
The one that's right by the water?
The one.
Look directly
Second,
above it.
yep,
Yes.
second upper plate.
Yeah, the one that's right above it.
Never mind, I got it.
All right, we're out with Full Spectrum Warrior at, what's our yardage?
400 yards.
400 yards, shooting steel plate. Kaitlyn Bennet's going to give it a try with the PMT-10 suppressed with the standard buffer system.
We good?
Good.
Did I get it?
It looked like it hit,
The GoPro.
but I didn't hit it. Give me one more.
Okay.
Put the dot just a little bit higher in his chest.
You ready?
Yep.
Hey, winner, winner.
You got it, chicken
got it.
dinner.
Yeah, we heard it. We heard it ping.
Again?
Yep. Now take your dot and aim just slightly to the left.
Okay.
So if I'm this piece of steel, if you're aiming here, go like here.
Okay.
Right? So you hit right here on the edge.
Okay.
Right? So the previous one, the elevation was probably good. The other one looked like you missed just right here at the bottom. So we'll just take that dot where you just did. Now just go slightly to the left. If that shot felt good.
Moving
Okay.
towards.
Feel like you were wiggling.
I'm just nervous.
Okay. But if the shot, when you were shooting, if it was wiggling, then just do exactly what you just did, upper chest.
Okay.
If it felt really steady, there is a little bit of wind. So if it felt steady, then we're gonna aim just slightly to the left and pull that shot over.
I shot the PMT-15 with a standard buffer and then the MBS and found that without much effort, I was shooting faster and more accurately because of less recoil.
There we go. You hit right here.
Good job. Center mass.
Kind of told me to.
Yeah, good.
You want me to keep going?
So let's do one more.
Yeah.
Now this time, we're gonna do the same thing shooting wise. But now what I want you to pay attention to is what does the recoil feel like?
Okay.
So that way we have a reference when we switch it out.
Okay.
Okay, so we're gonna get a good accurate shot, but I'm gonna pay attention to what the gun feels
Okay.
like.
Am I holding it right? Am I supposed to hold it here?
You don't need to put your hand in the front because you have the bipod. So the bipod's
That's
handling
what I
the
was
front. Yep, so that's gonna control your elevation. Up, down,
doing. Okay.
right, is right here.
The MBS worked great on the AR-15 rifles, but the biggest difference I found was shooting the PM10 in 308. I have never shot 400 yards before, and I will say that the MBS really boosted my confidence. You can see it in my face when I first shoot the PM10 that there was way more recoil than the PMT-15. After they swapped over to the magnetic buffer system, it was a dream to shoot.
Alright, you guys wanna swap?
All right. We're now running the PMT-10 with the magnetic buffer system. Suppressed, 400 yards.
Ready when you are. Hit.
That is definitely easier. I can definitely feel a difference. For sure. I'm gonna go again.
Okay.
Yeah, I really like that.
Nice.
That's like incredibly easier, actually. 'Cause I got all three of them, right?
Yep.
Nice. All right,
Yep.
I missed one without
So-
this on. I missed one. And yeah, okay.
So now here's something we're gonna look for with that recoil management. So for the last round, let's do it again.
Okay.
And then I want you to see if you can stay on the target and watch the round hit through the scope.
Okay.
So instead of like waiting for me to tell you, one of the things that we want in that good body position and recoil management, but also the reduction of the recoil allows us to get a second shot faster.
Yes.
But in precision rifle stuff, if I can see what my rounds are doing, like I don't have a spotter, like if I wasn't here calling it for you, if you can manage the recoil and watch through the scope and see the rounds hit or miss, then you can make your own adjustments and corrections to ensure that second shot hit.
Okay.
So now you felt the recoil difference. Now let's watch through the scope and see if we can watch what your round does.
Okay.
Okay? There you go. Nice.
Am I out?
That's it. You're empty.
Nice.
Good shooting.
No,
That was
I
a good
able
follow-up shot.
to do two without stopping.
Yeah.
All right. So Navy SEAL Rich Graham with our PMT-10 platform, 20-inch barrel, suppressed. Rich, you shoot this gun pretty much all the time, correct?
Yeah, I have a lot of time on it.
So this is going to be his first experience shooting the magnetic buffer system on that lower that you see attached to that Florida Man camo upper. And we'll be shooting 400 yards. Hit. Hit. Hit.
Yeah, smooth. Real smooth.
Hit. Hit. Hit.
Yep.
So in your words, describe the difference in recoil.
It's just,
how does it feel different?
It's just not hitting like it's not hitting like you normally get from a 308. So I wanted to do it on the strap so we can kind of see like the shooting position on the strap is hard as it is getting into position, right? So getting your first shot is a lot that has to do with the body position, right? With the follow-up shots is when this thing starts to try to swing and move on the strap, how long does it take me to get back in and be able to do that follow-up shot? You know what I mean? So when you're shooting the 308 and you normally get that bigger recoil, you get this swing on the strap and you have to basically like let it settle to get back in, which to do 3 in a string like that, you know, this is the first, we haven't practiced it. So this is just like, you know, just trying it out. And to be able to just do 3 in a string like that, it's pretty impressive. Definitely you can notice the difference in the recoil.
So would you like to spend more time with that type of platform?
Yeah, I'd love to have more opportunity to mess around with it and really like dig into it, but you can noticeably, right off the bat, you can noticeably tell the difference.
Awesome.
For sure.
Good shot.
Let's do it again, bud.
Give me one more. Nice.
There you go, buddy. All right, Kaitlyn. So today we're going to be looking at our blank firing device. This is called the L.I.O.N. This is the civilian version. It is an impact actuated device, so whichever way it lands, it will go off. It does have an assisted plunger. This is our safety pin. Make sure nothing goes off before we're ready. It takes 12 gauge blanks, 9mm blanks, or 12 gauge minis, which are proprietary to PAMAX Tactical. You as the consumer would buy this, input your blank, screw it on, pull your pin, and it's ready to go. And you can reuse it over and over again. Kind of like a flashbang, but without any of the stuff.
Okay, so I could just buy this and do rounds with it in my garage.
Yes, ma'am.
Anyone.
Anyone.
Okay, very cool. I've never seen one before in my life, so I'm very excited to try it out.
Yep. We do actually make a longer proprietary version for law enforcement, but this would be the one that you would buy.
All right.
All right, guys. So loading our L.I.O.N device simply. Today we'll be using our B12 new version. You can tell by the gold. These just came out a couple of days ago. We're simply going to take out our insert, place them in, screw it back down into our line, make sure it's seated tight. Now this is ready to go the second we pull the pin and throw it.
Explode and like go everywhere? Or no, you just flash?
No, it's
Exactly the same?
it's not exactly the same, but it's actually considered an explosive device because what's initiating it is a legit explosive, right? So the other thing with that is it has to be stored in a hazmat container, right? That you would keep ordnance in. It has to be registered with the ATF and tracked and all this stuff. So there's a lot of requirements and stipulations, if you can get them, to then just to hold them.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Where these are treated with less scrutiny than a firearm, right? You're just treated this as like ammunition,
Right.
which you can buy ammunition, store at a house or whatever. You know, it's just a little bit of powder in there.
Okay.
So it's on a whole different category as far as regulation goes, which makes it way easier for the guys and the officers to utilize them, to train with them. Less paperwork, way less expensive, and you're getting basically the same.
Yeah,
result
it seems like a
inside the house.
no-brainer.
Yeah.
Literally, I don't see any reason why you would train. Well, obviously sometimes, but
Yeah.
that makes a lot more sense.
Yeah.
So what's the difference between this and a real flashbang?
So a traditional flashbang is something that's usually limited to law enforcement and military personnel. It's also going to require special tracking by the ATF. It's an ATF regulated item. So it's not something a regular civilian can purchase. This is not only outside the scope of the ATF in regards to the regulation for flashbangs. This uses just basic commercial powder, like a 12-gauge blank. The device itself actually amplifies the acoustics. So acting almost like a muzzle brake on a gun, it makes it louder, which gives you that flashbang effect.
This is good for civilians to train.
Correct. They can come to a shoot house like this at Full Spectrum Warrior, and they can run these all day long and get the experience of like an actual flashbang.
Nice.
Yeah, without having to worry about all the strings.
Yeah, that sounds good. So I asked, how much does it cost for the replacement that goes in there?
So these B12 minis run for about $2.30-ish
Oh,
a
that's
pop.
awesome.
The device itself is about $200, and then you can continue to play with it as much as you'd like. And then this adapter lets you run primers, which are about 9 cents, and then 9mm blanks, which are about 30 to 40 cents. So you have some options depending on what you're using it with.
We're going to toss it 3 feet into the room.
Okay.
Okay, we don't want to chuck it all the way to the back. And the reason being, although sometimes like tactically that does work great, the problem is if we're not looking to where we're tossing it, this thing's heavy and we don't want to, for a law enforcement standpoint, maybe for home protection, you just want to peg the dude in the face with this thing. Okay? But for law enforcement purposes, which we're going to use as our guideline, we don't want to necessarily hit somebody with this. Right, so we're going to toss it basically 3 to 5 feet into the room, just past the doorway. We're going to throw it center.
Okay.
So that way it's not hitting anybody or anything else. Right. Again, with the real flashbangs, you run the risk of starting fires.
Okay.
So you don't want to toss this and have it land in someone's bed and blow up in a bed on top of someone, cause a fire or anything like that. So the safest way to do it is we're going to look and toss and place it.
And it won't go off without the pin until it hits the ground.
Yep, and then with these, what I like to do is when I toss it, right, so you'll see people just do a flat toss with a normal crash bang. What I like to do with this is I'll do a flick, so it kind of has a spin to it.
Okay.
Because this is we want that plunger to get engaged. If it lands on its side, it can still go off.
Okay.
But we're gonna get a better chance of it going off if it's catching on a little bit of an angle. So I'll usually just do like a flip.
Okay.
As I toss it 3 feet into the room.
Okay.
Cool. And then as soon as that goes off, your partner's going to be going in. You're going to get your rifle up. You're going to take your step. Now this time, your left leg's going to be forward. Right?
Yeah.
And now you're going to step center, across, looking into the corner. Get out of that fatal funnel. Scan till you're 1 to 3 feet off your partner. Right?
Yes. Past the door.
Yep.
Okay. So why would someone use this blink fire device?
Well, typically for law enforcement purposes, let's say you had to enter into a space and you know there's a bad guy in the area and they could be watching, but you still have to make forward movement through the threshold, like for example, the doorway.
Right.
One of these devices would be tossed into the room, and when it explodes, right, you're hoping that you get a reaction where the people in the room kind of do this. They don't know if the explosion is going to have shrapnel or whatever. They don't know if it's a grenade or what it's going to do. There's a lot of overpressure, which hopefully will disorient them. Just to give you enough time to get through the threshold without being shot and get into a fighting position within the space. Another way you can use this is other danger areas like working in stairwells or long hallways, again, to use it as one more method to disorient and give yourself a tactical advantage. We're using that as a split-second opportunity to get inside the room, right? So in this case, we're just going to drop the crash into the room and immediately get in and out of the doorway.
Okay.
If I drop the crash in the room and then do a slow pan of the room, right, I kind of lost my element of surprise. I gave them time to regain their composure, shake it off, and get back on their gun, right? So we're not going to, in this case, drop the crash, then do a slow methodical pan from outside the room, right?
Yeah.
We're going to drop the crash, and as soon as it goes, we're in the room before the people can regain their composure. And looking into our corner, right? We have this, and you have these two guys here. We're going to look to the corner, scan back through the middle of the room until you hit your partner, right? We're going to
Use
go.
my partner?
No, you're not going to do it by yourself. You'll have,
Okay.
You're just going to scan clear
Oh,
with you.
okay.
So basically, for your scans, your safety, like the safety rules is 3 feet off your body or 1 foot off the end of your barrel.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
So if I was standing like this with my hands down, you would stop your scan 3 feet off my body. If my hands were out and I was holding a rifle or a pistol, whatever it was, you would basically stop your scan 1 foot off my barrel.
Okay.
So if you were clearing that corner, you're going to go, let's say 2, maybe 3 steps down the wall to get out of the threshold, that fatal funnel,
Yes.
and give room for your partner to come with you. And then you're not, if there's bad guys in here, they probably be aiming by the door, so you want to get away from the door.
Okay.
Okay? This corner. I'm here, I'm going to put my inside leg forward.
Okay.
Right? When I go down this wall, what I'm going to do is my back leg is going to step center. 1, 2, 3. So that way the footwork is nice and methodical from the doorway.
Let me just do it right here.
Yep.
So my,
Yep. So switch your feet. So inside leg is forward. Now we can crank it up. Right? Right now, it's easier for you just to bring it down. Right? We're going to step, pause, and down the way. Okay. Out bang, like it's the explosion. Bang.
okay.
Watching there, when you're ready, you're going to go like this and follow the barrel, and just tell them to go.
Okay, am I following you?
They're pushing in.
Should I just throw it?
That's fine.
But typically what happens is, if we look to make sure our partner's doing what they're supposed to do, right? And my job is to do what my role is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'll find my partner at the end of my scan.
Okay.
Right? So I come in, everything was good. You stepped in like this, and you have this guy right here, but you're looking like this over your shoulder, and then you came up and found him, right? But let's
Yeah.
drive the corner.
Okay.
Yep.
Yep. Makes
So
sense.
then I can see them, so I'm not going to have my gun up while I'm trying to throw it. Perfect case scenario, 1 and 2 would be watching the door, and the third guy is going to be throwing it. You really don't want the number 2 throwing it, but if we only have 2 people, of the 2 people, the dude who's working the doorknob would also be the one who's throwing it. For something like this, I would probably pull the pin before, if I'm the number 2 man and I'm crashing, I'd probably have the crash ready, open the door, toss the crash, get my rifle, because it's not an actual explosive device, and I can always just put the pin back in. Or if I have to go, I can just drop it and we're not going to get frag or anything in our legs. So that way we get it quicker. If it's the number 3rd guy, then you can be in position, have one hand holding the pin ready. The number 2 man opens the door, pull toss, but if I'm the number 2 man and the dude who's crashing, I would probably pre-pull the pin. You know what I mean? Because the device is safe enough for us to do that.
You don't want to stay in the door frame too long.
Exactly. Well, risk versus reward. You know what I mean? Like, which one's more dangerous? My crash bang, which the point of these is they're safe, or the person in the room.
Right.
So I would pre-stage it, door bang, get my rifle ready to go.
To the town of Rio rode a stranger one fine day. Hardly spoke to folks around him, didn't have too much to say. No one dared to ask his business, no one dared to make a slip. The stranger there among them had a big iron on his hip. Big iron on his hip.
You own this
Yep.
full spectrum warrior.
Yep.
This is a training facility.
Yes.
Or what would you say that it is? This is for me to ask you a question.
It's my yard,
It's your yard.
but it's also a training facility.
Okay, all right. This is Rich, the owner of Full Spectrum Warrior,
Yep.
and we're out here at your branch and your training facility. Who can come here and take your courses?
So it's open. We're not open to the public like a 9 to 5 operation, but we do host people for private training events. So we have everything from SWAT teams that come out here and do their tactical training. And then we also just have people who are firearms enthusiasts or groups of guys who just want to have a good time and get out in nature and shoot some guns and do some cool stuff. And so we'll host a wide variety of clients.
And I heard bachelor parties.
There's people who don't want to do the Las Vegas strip club thing. They'd rather have the guys get together and have like a tactical bachelor's party, and we just run and gun, do bonfires, cook out,
Nice.
and all that kind of stuff. So it's kind of like a more ethical version of a bachelor party, but it's still a good time. You know what I mean? So yeah.
And there's a cabin on site where people can stay if they have multiple days of training.
Yeah.
And how would someone contact you to be able to book with you?
On our website, fullspectrumwarriors.com, we have a private training request, and you can fill out a questionnaire of a wide variety of topics that we can do.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, you've seen the properties, so we can do precision rifle out to 800 meters. We have the shoot house for law enforcement tactical application or family home protection. We have the obstacle course with live fire capability. We have a vehicle ambush corridor, so we can do driving and shooting. We can do normal standard stuff that you would do, but a lot of people come here because we can do a lot of things here that you can't do at a traditional shooting range.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And then you have the option to use our gym, which is more of like a CrossFit style gym.
Okay.
You know, we have the cabin, which is a house with 11 beds, and we have a pool and a cold plunge and all that stuff. So there's lots of capability here to have a good time and also get really good training.
Okay. Well, I hope that you have an influx of emails
Yeah,
coming to you.
I appreciate it.
I can see anybody really benefiting from this. Like you said, families. That's really
Yep.
important to me from where I'm at in life. To law enforcement, SWAT teams, so you can cover anybody in whatever stage of life they're at to protect themselves and their friends,
Yep.
their family.
Yep.
Okay.
It's great to
That's
have you.
awesome. Thank you.
Yep.
All right, so we've now concluded our day here at Full Spectrum Warriors facility. You spent the whole day here with us at PAMAX Tactical. How did it feel?
It felt amazing to get back out there and shoot again for the first time in 5 years. And I don't know, maybe it's that your products and your guns are spectacular, but I shot better now with PAMAX weapons than I did before with all kinds of other, manufacturer companies and stuff. So highly recommend the products. And then I loved the magnetic buffer system to where I could shoot. I made more shots with it because it lessened the recoil. So
Right, and you tried out the AR-15 and the AR-10 platform.
Yes.
Both which we noticed a great distance in your recoil, how you were shooting with it. But we also tried out the L.I.O.N device today. What were your thoughts on that?
That was so fun. From just a perspective, I'm not military law enforcement, so I could never see me training with it, but that was a spectacular product, one, for law enforcement, but also it's just so fun. And to be able to reuse it and just learning more about it, it's just total common sense why someone would choose to have that rather than the money they would spend on just one to keep using it. So I definitely recommend. Super fun, and I want to do it again.
Awesome. And what did you think of the facility here at Full Spectrum Motor?
This is a beautiful facility. It's family friendly, and I could definitely see coming out for a couple days, staying in the cabin, even with my children and my husband, having a fun full weekend, just training, learning important skills for defending your family and your friends and everything in your home. So definitely recommend it. It's for everybody, and if you're in the business of law enforcement, definitely recommend this guy that runs it, Rich. Top notch. Yes, thank you for awakening the gun girl once again.
All right, guys. Thank you for visiting us here at PAMAX Tactical. You have a wonderful day.